bada boom, bada bang, bada bop. We are back today with the top 5 list. I'm giving you the best Max Cushion shoes of 2025. We got a bunch of new releases that I'll be testing soon, so I wanted to make sure that we documented what the best shoes of this year before we bury them and move on to 2026. Now, if you are looking for shoes, if you're looking for insights on shoes, if you're looking for recommendations, you are in the right place. An even better place, though, would be the Supwell app. So Supwell app is my app. It's the best buy, sell, and trade marketplace out there, and it's the best place to find deals on running shoes. Here's how it works. Somebody might get a shoe like the Vomero Premium or the Vomero Plus or the Mega Blast, put a run on it, it doesn't work for them, so they'll list it well below MSRP. Somebody might also be able to get a pair of these early and pass them along to somebody else. That's actually how I got my pair of these. My guy Josh Spivey was able to secure some and pass them along to me. So if you're interested in the culture of running shoes, connecting with other hobby joggers, or getting great deals on shoes, get in with us on the Supwell app and enjoy today's video. Alright, man, top 5 Max Cushion shoes of 2025. I wanted to get this list out because we got a bunch of new Max Cushion shoes coming out. Glycerin Max 2, Mag Max 2, Glide Ride Max 2. I'll be testing all of those. So I wanted to make sure we did our capstone of the 5 best Max Cushion shoes from this year before we start testing all of those. Now, one important announcement. Look at this. This thing is, can you see this? Hold on. So I told you on Friday, I lost my mic cover in the back of an Uber in San Antonio. And this was the only one on Amazon that fit my mic. It's called a Dead Cat. It's huge. The last one was about, I don't know, an eighth of a size of this. But the bonus here is that this should help with the wind noise now. This is a Dead Cat, so it should help with any of that rustling wind noise we hear. So that was a very important announcement. Shout out to the Dead Cat. And it literally looks like a dead cat putting in work. All right, let me go through the criteria here from my mileage journal. By the way, if you have not picked up one of these mileage journals, you should do that. Hobbyjogger.com. Support the channel, support the business by picking up the merch and by being a member of the community. I really don't like promoting my own stuff. It's funny because I come out here every day with these shoes, waving them around, giving the brands a ton of promo. I hate promoting my own stuff. And you might say, what are you talking about? You do the bada boom, bada bang thing every day at the beginning of the videos. I started doing that because if I didn't do it, I literally wouldn't talk about the app. And you probably noticed I don't talk about the app all that much throughout the videos because I hate being self-promotional. But I got to do a better job at that. That's one of my 2026 goals. Anyway, what is the purpose of a Max Cushion shoe? I just want to go through this quickly because it's going to inform the shoes that are on this list. And we'll answer some questions about why isn't this here, why isn't this here. So 3 main purposes of a Max Cushion shoe. If you watch this channel, you know whenever I do a first run review, I always go through those 3 questions. The first one is, what is the intended purpose of the shoe and how does it stack up? So first, comfort. That's why stack heights start increasing. These Max Cushion shoes are designed to be comfortable. The shoe I'm wearing right now, New Balance More V6, it's not gonna make this list. We can put it as an honorable mention because it is very comfortable. Number 2, protection. So a lot of us coming into the running game, 2020s, 2020, 2021, maybe COVID, we haven't been running our whole lives. That's where the whole hobby jogger thing started, right? I used to have the big hobby jogger hat. I still have it. We have the hobby jogger running hats. We haven't been running for our entire lives. We're not maybe super efficient, not as light as on our feet as people who've been doing track workouts for years. So for me and for a lot of us in the community, these Max Cushion shoes offer a lot more protection. And if you think about the technology that's evolved now, something like this right here, Vomero Premium versus the shoes 10, 20 years ago, they've just gotten so much more protective better on the joints, easier to run in, which brings me to number 3, third purpose of a max cushion shoe. Make it easier to run for longer. Man, if you come out here in a low stack shoe, an Adios 9, a Vivo Barefoot, you're not going to be having much fun once you get past 20, 30 minutes, or even something like a Rebel. You're not going to want to run a marathon in a Rebel. For most people, these shoes, the Vomero Premiums of the world, that shoe that I was running in yesterday or a few days ago, but that we did the spotlight video of yesterday, the Cloudmonster 3 Hyper, shoes like this with the high stack technology and the race foams that have gotten so advanced just make it so much easier to stay out there, reduces the pounding on the joints through the impact protection, and then that energy return through some of these more advanced compounds just makes it a lot more enjoyable to run for longer. So those are the 3 criteria for this list, or purpose: comfort, protection, making it easier to run for longer. Those are the best shoes. They all have high comfort, they all have great protection, and they all make it easier to stack some miles. Now, criteria, because I know people are gonna ask, where is the Mag Max? Where's the Glizzy Max? Those shoes released in 2024. So the 3 criteria to make this list: you had to release in 2025, above 40 millimeters of stack in the back, and no plate. This is something that I've gone back and forth on, and I don't know, because you can have a plated shoe, for example, Glide Ride Max or Neo Vista 2. Slightly 2 different shoes. Glide Ride Max is less of an aggressive plate, but you can have a plated shoe that's designed for comfort, protection, and making it easier to run for longer. And I've gone back and forth on this. Do we put Neo Vista 2 in a max cushion category? Do we put it in more of a speed trainer category or super trainer category, or what we've been calling the elevated daily trainer category? For the purposes of this list, I'm not going to include it. I'm going to include it on a separate roundup. We did give it a spot on the top 5 long run shoes, but you got to think about max cushion as the way I came into the game too, coming into the shoe sicko world in 2020-21. The idea of a recovery shoe and just the comfort and protection and stack of miles was big. So that is the theme of this list today. So with that, let us get into the core of the list. Number 5, this guy right here, Nike Vomero Premium, one of the best max cushion shoes of the year. So this guy has about 55 millimeters in the back, 45 millimeters in the front. It's an absolute tank. It's a behemoth. It's what we call a chunky, funky monkey. By the way, Mizuno, when I was talking to them, they said they showed me a new shoe. It's coming out, I think, either next year or the year after, and they said this is what you call a chunky, funky monkey. But yeah, this guy, it's so big, so heavy. That's why it's number 5 and not higher up. I know a lot of people love this, and it's weird because bigger runners love it, people who can put down a lot of power. And then I also know a lot of smaller, highly efficient runners who love it. For example, Connor Mance, this was the shoe designed to help him return from injury. And when we were at the running event, Nike actually had a whole wall that showed all the development of the various iterations of this, and it documented his process returning, which was pretty cool. So bigger runners love it, smaller runners love it. I was sitting across a woman from Runner's World. It's called Runner's World, right? And she was probably 100 pounds, 5 to 100 pounds. She's their shoe reviewer, and she says she loves it. For me, it's always felt maybe it's a little too much stack. Is it diminishing returns with how much cushion we're getting? Do we need all of this? So not my personal absolute favorite. I've gone back and forth on it. It is a really fun ride. I love all the technology, and it's an absolute recovery tank. But for me, I think any of these top 4 shoes are just, it's enough. I don't need everything you're getting here. And it is a very heavy shoe at 350 grams in my size. But the good qualities of it: bounce, cushion, protection. It's highly stable, which is odd given how much foam you have, but they have the plastic heel clip in the back and really just feels like it's locking you down and giving you a ton of bounce and protection. So if you're looking for the most fun ride in this category, if you want to try something different, this is a good one to pick up. Nike says they designed it to give you that anti-gravity treadmill sensation, and I can tell you it does that. For me though, I think my personal thing is with it is, do I need that anti-gravity treadmill sensation? Especially if I'm in a more tame period of training where I'm not absolutely destroying myself. I could do just fine in something like a Salomon Aero Goat or the Rad UFO or the Nike Vomero Plus. I could run my recovery runs in more of a normal daily trainer and be fine. So that's the thing with this shoe. If you want the utmost in protection and recovery running capability, this is a banger. It is very expensive though and very heavy, so it's just one of those considerations that's going into its place on this list. All right, number 4. Boom, Asics Mega Blast. So this might be a surprise in both directions. Somebody might be surprised to see it on this list, given not the most comfortable shoe, not necessarily designed to be a comfort recovery shoe. And then given that it's on this list, you might be surprised to see it so low. So again, you gotta think about the purpose of a max cushion shoe, and my criteria here, these are the shoes that are the best for comfort, the best for protection, and the best for time on feet. This does a really good job at all those, and because it is so versatile, so capable, and so smooth, really is a smooth shoe once you break it in, it does do a very good job at being that recovery shoe. I put a ton of recovery miles in this. I couldn't get a shoe up to 200 miles in 2 months without doing recovery runs in it. So once you get past that 40 to 50 mile mark, it does soften up a lot. It's also just a shoe that it wants you to work with it. It is very aggressive and bouncy in the beginning, so again, that's why it's not farther up the list. But again, think about the price, $220 roughly for both of these. I think, is this $230 in the Vomero Premium? If I were just gonna pick one, it would definitely be the Mega Blast for me, because this is the shoe that I could do workouts in, I could do long runs in, but I could also do the recovery work in, versus the Vomero Premium. It just feels like a very specialized shoe where I'm only gonna want it when I feel super beat up. So if you're the type of person who doesn't love the idea of a max cushion recovery shoe, if you don't love super soft sinking down foams, this is a really good one to consider. It has more bounce, it has more energy return, and I think the faster you are, from an absolute pace standpoint, not relative, the faster you are, the better this will be at a recovery run shoe. When I'm running my recovery at 7:30, 7:40, this feels a lot nicer than when I'm running my recovery at 8:30, 8:40. And for me, that highly depends on how much my overall volume is. If my volume is 110 miles and below, I can run recovery in the 7s, and I'm really not running very many 8-minute miles. Once I start going up past 110, 120, 130, then I run a lot more 8-minute miles, and something like this becomes less enjoyable. So for some people out there, this could be a workout shoe, a race shoe. For others, could be that do-it-all shoe and highly capable as that max cushion cruiser for someone who does not want a huge rotation. Now for someone who does want a rotation, transition, number 3, Hoka Bandai 9. Now again, this is one people might be surprised to see, but you gotta remember, these lists are for shoes that were released the entire year. This one, I actually got this to test a year ago, December, and then it officially released on the market in January. So this is a 2025 release. Yes, it was earlier this year. Oh my gosh, my fingers are getting cold. I should have brought my gloves. Oh man. Yeah, it released earlier this year, and this is one of the best shoes, this and the next shoe on this list, that embody the spirit of that traditional max cushion recovery shoe. And that's why it's cracking the top 3 on this list. If you want the newest, latest and greatest recovery tech, that would be the Vomero Premium. If you want something different, that's more exciting with more bounce, that's not gonna be as slow, that would be the Mega Blast. So those options do exist, but this is a more traditional recovery running shoe. It's about 330 grams in my size. It will slow you down, which could be a good thing, but it's very smooth, moderate drop here, about a 4 to 6 millimeter drop. Feels very low. It really depends on where you measure here. Supercritical EVA foam. I've long said supercritical EVA foam is one of the best training foams out there. It's in the Ghost Max, it's in this, Mizuno's putting it in the Neo Zen 2. It's a really solid foam. It gets slept on a lot, and I'm guessing people are gonna like it more in the Neo Zen 2 because Mizuno's a cool, new, innovative, cutting-edge brand, and a lot of people just pass over the Bandai. But for the people who've actually given this a shot, because I was reviewing it and recommending it a lot at the top of the year, a lot of people did like it, and it's a true performance running shoe, man. I did 20-mile long runs in this. I did a 20-mile day in this. I did a lot of recovery runs. I remember I did a trip to New York at the top of the year. I brought this, the Super Blast, and I believe the Mach X2, and this was the shoe that I was running in the most. It's just very comfortable, nice cruiser, and again, I was talking about those absolute paces. So for me, when I'm training heavily and really getting after it and pushing the mileage, my recovery paces start slipping 750, 8, 810, and slower. This is a perfect shoe for those types of paces. Very relaxed. It's not a shoe where you're going to be ripping strides or doing any types of workouts, but you can do some steady runs, and the Supercritical EVA has a nice, gentle bounce to it. So really solid shoe. If you're looking for a comfortable walking shoe or a nice recovery running shoe or a time on feet type of shoe, this is it. There's really nothing objectionable about it. It's not the most exciting, but That's what makes a recovery shoe good sometimes. We don't need a bunch of high tech. We don't need race foam or plates in a recovery shoe. It's just something to get the job done. All right, number 2. Continuing on in the spirit here. Oh my goodness, I think you just saw it. I need to warm up my hands real quick. The thing is, I do have gloves. They're just in my office. ASICS Gel Nimbus 27. So ASICS is about to release the 28. Again, all these things are coming out, so I really needed to get some miles in this. Also, now I'm hoping with this dead cat thing. Can you hear me? It's big. Is it just, I hope it's not just muffling the entire voice. Can you hear my voice? Hold on. I need to do a test. Testing. Yeah. You ever just get so anxious about something? That's what happened right there. I just got really anxious. Imagine if I just did the whole top 3 of this list and then it went away and I had to re-record it again, like what happened at TRE. That was so tough, man. That was so tough. Everything from Brooks to the end of the video, it was 30 minutes of footage got wiped out. And the running event is one of these things where it's like the Super Bowl in new shoes, and I had to re-record my entire video. I was running on 4 hours of sleep, and it was terrible, but that's what happens, man. I gotta get the operations just more locked in. Preparation, planning. I'm great at the execution, but we got to improve the strategy, the preparation, and the planning. That's what we're thinking about 2026 goals. Just get way more locked in with that stuff. No more flying by the seat of our mileage anymore. All right, ASICS Gel Nimbus 27. They're coming out with the 28 soon. Very minor update. They're making it lighter, but I'm glad they're doing that. Same thing with the AeroGo, a shoe that I love this year. Very minor update. I don't mind when brands do that when the core of it is really good. What I hate is when they try to do an update that just change things. Saucony was the biggest offender of this in 2023, 2024, just changing things for no reason. They do this all the time on the Ride and the Triumph. Like, let's just change the foam for no reason. Let's just change something on the upper for no reason. No, ASICS thankfully isn't doing that in the 28. Why is this shoe so good? Soft, smooth, comfortable, really enjoyable shoe. And for me, again, comparing to the Vomero Premium, the Nimbus feels like it has 95% of what the Vomero Premium does for me at 6'2", 155 pounds, at a lower weight and just without all the craziness. Smooth, easy to run in, decent bounce, highly protective, and right around that 8 flat pace range, so 740 to 810, so normal recovery for me. This feels great. There's not a lot wrong with it. The grip is awesome. You can pick up the pace in it. I think my first run in it was a 20 miler at a 7 flat pace, and you can often find it on sale, so one of the best value shoes out there. So if you're looking for that traditional recovery shoe, this is probably the top pick of 2025. It gets overlooked because it's the 27, or it's the Nimbus 27. It's not super exciting. A lot of these shoes with the high, what is it called, numbers, the high, they've just been in the game a long time. They get overlooked. Everyone wants the new hot thing. Everyone wants the Mega Blast. But this is a really good shoe. I think I was saying earlier this week, I think this is my favorite franchise all time of running shoes because I love the 25, 26, 27. I love the TR. The TR is my go-to walking shoe. Right now I have the More V6. More V6 is more of my shoe tube shoe that I use around the house when I'm working and coming down here. And the 27 TR I've used for dad drip and everything. So very comfortable casual shoe, very comfortable recovery running shoe. Nimbus 27. I do have to say, if you're a bigger runner and you don't like when foams compress a lot, I have heard some people say that this is slightly too soft, so I would consider the Bandai or the Vomero Premium or the next shoe on this list if that is the case. All right, final shoe, number 1 max cushion shoe of 2025. The mileage does not lie. A shoe that I have put 200 miles on in 2025 across 2 pairs, a shoe that initially was a B+ and then was upgraded to an A shoe that may or may not have one pesky little quality issue. We're still gonna dub it the best max cushion shoe of 2025. Nike Vomero Plus. The quality issue here is that these eyelets snap. Super unfortunate. But yeah, this is my second pair of it. Absolute banger, man. I love this thing in my rebuild after Bay State. I didn't love it so much the first time because it is a weirdly aggressive shoe. The Vomero Premium does have more of that relaxed feel. It says it's a 10 millimeter drop, but it feels way more like a 6. This feels like a true 10 millimeter drop. It puts you up on your toes more. But if you're in a stage or phase of running where you are running some faster miles and you don't want something super slow, this is a great pick. Also, highly versatile. Again, not everybody wants a huge rotation. So the Nimbus and the Bandai will be the two shoes that are more of those true recovery shoes. The Nimbus for something slightly softer, the Bandai for something slightly firmer. But this really takes it for the versatility. Similar to the Mega Blast, right? The Mega Blast is way more of a shoe where you can go out and hammer, but it can do the recovery. This is a shoe where you can go out, run a ton of daily miles, and also do that recovery. So if you're in a stronger phase of your running, where you're running your recovery, maybe for me it would be 740, 730, like I have been. I really have not been running a lot of 750 miles. I think I've only run a handful of 750 or 8-minute miles since Bay State Marathon. I've just been training at a lower mileage level, so it doesn't matter. And most people are going to be, right? Most people out there, if you're running 4 to 5 days a week, you're not stringing together a ton of super slow recovery miles. This is the shoe that has the broadest appeal out there to the max cushion category and is going to have the highest hit rate. When I was at TRE this week with Andrew, Midlife Runner, he was saying, man, if you recommend a shoe and you like it, and I recommend a shoe and I like it, I know it's a shoe everyone can get along with because he's smaller than I am. He has a higher cadence. He's more of what he calls a cadence runner, I'm more of what he would call a stride runner, so longer stride length, fewer steps. It's just a shoe that works well for a lot of people. Bigger runners like it, smaller runners like it. You could do long runs in it. You could do short runs in it. You could do strides. You could even do some tempos and fartleks in it. Just a truly awesome shoe. So I might even put it in the daily trainer category as well, but it has a lot of cushion and stack. Feels very protective, but super lightweight for what you're getting here. I'm a huge fan of it. I was not at first, but this is why I test the shoes and put so many miles on it. I really came back around to it over the past month or so. So Vomero Plus, #1 max cushion shoe of 2025. You heard it here, probably not first. I'm sure other people are saying that, and a lot of people love this shoe. But yeah, I can give this thing a big thumbs up. That is the list. Let me know who I snubbed. Let me know what I got wrong. Let me know what your favorite max cushion shoe of 2025 is. And let me know what 2026 shoes you are most excited to see. I told you already, we got the Glizzy, we got the Mag Max, and we got the Glide Ride Max 2 coming soon. But we're also going to see the Saucony, what was that crazy one? The Saucony Paramount Max, not a streaming service. The Craft Atmos Far is coming. There's a few other brands that are dropping some heaters, looks like. So let me know what you're most excited for. I appreciate you, and I'll be back tomorrow with another video. Dude, this is painful. No shoe tubing without gloves anymore. Oh my gosh. I feel like OJ. I'm gonna need to be on my Teddy Bridgewater. You ever seen Teddy Bridgewater play football? He doesn't touch the field unless he has those 2 gloves on. That's why they call him Teddy 2 Gloves, man. I need to be on my shoe tube grind like Teddy Bridgewater, man. Call me Teddy Mileage Water. Call me Teddy Mileage Morton.